before I even got married, he was like, man, marriage ain't no joke. You got to meter it out. Make sure that that's what you really want to do. You got to learn how to set your child in place, put it in place, put it in timeout if you need to. All of those type of things. And he said, as the next year goes on, you got to give it time to grow. Men don't know who they are, so they fall into any type of trap. They try any type of thing.
Identity crisis.
Okay. So I don't know who I am anymore because your lack of relationship with God, and the disobedience that has fallen upon men. So I think when we get back into the obedience of God, that's when the knowing will kick in. We were all sent here not just for ourselves, and I was talking about this the other day. We were all sent here not for ourselves, but for somebody else. You can't just walk out here and take your life. You got to have accountability for other people, not only just yourself. I have accountability for my granddaughter.
Because the whole concept of My Manhood Matters is just to let the brothers know you're not alone. I've been through it. I believe in one man's testimony is another man's deliverance. One of my most dearest brothers, who I have a deep respect for, really, he is really any graphics, any branding that you may see, I'm introducing you to a young man who is the man behind the brand, really. And I want to really introduce him is Mr. Jonathan Snorten. What's up, Snorten? It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
Give a shout out to your wife, man, for allowing me to give me permission to come on out.
Shout out to my wife, Dr. Sharia Snorten. She's a wonderful, beautiful lady, man, and yeah, she let me come outside today.
Right, Jay. I'm gonna say this for real: that you're a prominent fixture in the community. And so when I look at your journey, as I mentioned your bio earlier, what has been the staple piece for you as a man?
I mean, it's simple. Growing up in a house where there was a two-parent household is very important to me. I know everybody doesn't get that opportunity of growing up. Nobody can dictate who their parents are going to be and how their parents are going to act. But definitely the staple piece, man, is definitely mother and father. My father was major in my life. He set the tone.
Okay. And what tone was that?
The tone was just leadership.
Okay.
Leadership. Okay. Fatherhood. The church.
Right.
Work ethic.
Okay.
All of those things. And they were great promoters of me. The both of them were too as well. So to watch them work hard at what they did, and always told me, if you put your best foot forward, you keep working hard, man, you can be whatever you want it to be, was great. I didn't have to have that pull like some people had when they're growing up saying, oh, my father told me I wasn't never going to be nothing. I didn't hear that. I didn't get that. And that is a blessing. That was a hand of God.
What is it that you've learned in your manhood now that you learned from your father? Meaning that lessons learned, not necessarily that your father verbally taught you, but some things that you say, okay, no, as a man, I can't do this. As a man, I got to do this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Whether it's marriage, whether it's job, whether it's faith,
right,
whatever that may have been.
I mean, I can hear his voice today, man. Before I even got married, he was like, man, marriage ain't no joke. You got to meter it out. Make sure that that's what you really want to do. Make sure that that's something a covenant that you can keep. So all of those things I hear him. I got you on this roof, putting this roof on this house. So you understand you don't like this type of work. So you'll go do something better. You'll go to school. You'll further your education. You'll go to college. All of those things matter. And I apply it to my life today. I apply it to my life. I apply it to my intern's life. I let them know when they come in and they want to do an internship or something like that. I let them know, okay, I'm gonna give you the business, and if you don't like it, you're learning early, so you can make your decision whether you want to do this for the rest of your life or not. So, man, I hear the voices of my mother, my father, man, all the time.
And for those who don't know, Jonathan's father passed away
the year, actually the year that I got married, which was 2012.
And how long you been married now, Jonathan?
Yeah, man, it's been going on 13 years this year. 13. Yeah.
What are some of the lessons you learned from that?
Man, somebody told me as a man, one of the, and I haven't talked to him since, but he gave me some great advice. He said, you getting married? He said, how long have you been married? I said, at that time it was 1 year. And the best thing he told me, he said, you got to understand that your marriage is only 1 year old. Sometimes your marriage will act like a baby, a 1-year-old.
Oh, that's good.
You got to learn how to set your child in place, put it in place, put it in timeout if you need to, all of those type of things. And he said, and as the next year goes on, you got to give it time to grow.
Okay.
You got to nurture it.
Was the first 5 years hard for you and Shay?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I haven't had any. I would say my marriage has not been hard.
Right.
You got times where it can get difficult, it can get rough and stuff like that. You don't
seasons,
seasons, a degree, but that's what it is, though.
Right.
And when you understand seasons, you know that it's going to come to an end, and a new one's going to come in. So out with the old, let the old branches fall off, and let some new growth come. And that's how God operates. I believe in marriage too, man. Is He wants new things to be birthed, so old things have to fall off.
How has it sharpened you as a man?
Man, it has made me definitely more responsible.
Okay.
When you were young and you don't have any responsibilities, it's all about you.
Right.
Now it's all about my family.
Right. You can't get them joys like you used to.
You can't get them shoes, man. If the baby got to eat, absolutely. It's some stuff that you got to say no to, financially, and then building, responsibility between the two of me and my wife, because we raised our grandbaby,
right?
And having her is a joy in the house, but it's taught me to not let the little grandbaby get away with everything.
Ooh,
I don't care how cute she
is. She's well loved. She ain't spoiled. She's well loved. She is well loved.
And she is well loved. And I have to tell people, hey, don't buy her nothing else. She's got enough, stuff like that.
Let me tell y'all something. Jay Snorten say this now, but that baby gonna have a car at 13. I'm telling y'all, you better watch. But you gonna have a show for her. That's how well loved she is. So let me ask you this, Jay. So I would like to give a special shout out to my proud sponsors that make this podcast available to you all. I would like to give a shout out to my brother, Mr. James Brooks, and Mr. Terry Biles. I would also like to give a special shout out to Mr. Jonathan Snorten with Branding Now Incorporated, who does all my branding and marketing needs. And I cannot complete this without my production team. I have to give it up for my boy Danny. What's up, Danny? And his whole team for making me look good, sound good. Big, good, all things good. Till next time, I'll see you there. What is your definition of manhood? In this masculinity, because it's changed over the years. I know God talks about being made in His image, according to Genesis 1, right? What does that look like for you? What does it look like now?
To me, it's about walking in the obedience of God.
Okay.
I think that when Adam disobeyed, I think everything just turned everything upside down, and I think it stripped him of his knowing. And that's down through the years we have forgotten who we are because of the lack of relationship we have with God. But I think when we get back to the obedience of God, He'll give us back the knowing. The Bible didn't say that God told Adam he was a man. The Bible said that He's breathed into Adam,
right? And
he is the likeness of God. And it's awfully strange to me that how can Adam name all of these animals that God brought to him and him not know who he is? You can't tell me he knows what a lion, a tiger, a bear is, but you don't know who you are.
There you go.
And that's what we have walking around now. Men don't know who they are. So they fall into any type of trap. They try any type of thing.
Identity crisis.
Okay. So I don't know who I am anymore because of your lack of relationship with God.
Right.
And the disobedience that has fallen upon men. So I think when we get back into the obedience of God, that's when the knowing will kick in.
Okay. What advice would you give to the millennial men? Like that 26 or 21 and up to 45 or 40. What advice would you give them in this time we're living in?
One thing I do know, they're up against some stuff that we wasn't up against.
Warfare is different.
They have access to a lot of things that we don't have access to. It makes it easier for the enemy to come in to their lives and start activating different things in them early. So what I would tell them is definitely, they've got to latch hold on to someone, whether it be a mentor, whether it be a leader or something. They have to find light somewhere. Right. If they cannot find light, then they're just going to be walking around in darkness. Right. And that's only going to lead to death, jail, incarceration, all of these type of things. So they have to find someone that they can look up to. And that's exactly what I had. I had my father, I had an older brother, I had men in the church that were good standing men that, wasn't getting into trouble, wasn't getting locked up, wasn't beating on their wives, all of this kind of stuff. And you got to want that too as well.
Yeah.
You know, you have a free will.
Right.
And when you know right from wrong, you have to be able to decide on a day whether you're going to do right or wrong. And that's what God says. He says it's going to come a time where you got to say, hey, you either going to serve me or you're going to serve the devil. It's a choice.
So even with that, why is then keeping that in mind, then why is accountability so important?
Accountability is so important. We were all sent here not just for ourselves. And I was talking about this the other day. We were all sent here not for ourselves, but for somebody else.
Right. Right.
You affect me in my life so much. You can't go just walk out here and take your life. You got to have accountability for other people, not only just yourself. I have accountability for my granddaughter.
Right.
So I don't care how bad it get.
Right.
If I take my life, then where is that going to leave her?
Right.
The cause and
right,
effect.
Right.
You know, so the things that we do, we have to know that we have to have accountability to be able to operate and serve as we need to, because if we don't, man, things fall. Adam didn't take the accountability into aspect.
Right.
He just thought of himself.
Right.
But he didn't think of nothing about what was to come.
Right.
So here we are.
Well, he wouldn't have known because he wouldn't know what sin. He knew no sin
Exactly.
until he got caught up.
Until he got caught up.
Got caught. But let me ask you this: can you give us a situation, a time when it was a dark place, and how through accountability and the help of the Lord kind of guide you out of it? Because the whole concept of My Manhood Matters is just to let the brothers know you're not alone. I've been through it. I believe in one man's testimony is another man's deliverance, and that he don't have to walk alone. Because one thing the enemy does, he isolate us. And so when he isolate us, those bad thoughts come in. I'm not enough. We start dating these women. They make you feel you're not enough. I lost my job. I'm divorced. I got 3 kids. I don't know what to do. So can you just think about a dark place that you ever been in, Jay, that you knew it was nothing but the Lord and the people that you had around you to kind of pull you out of that place?
So to be honest, I don't see myself as having any. My darkest place was my
Or
weight.
challenging.
But challenging,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's
My most challenging thing was to wait on the Lord.
Okay.
So imagine growing up, being an artist, going to art school, and working in the grocery store.
Right.
That's where my career started, because I'm a career-driven person. Business, I love it. That's what I do. And so going to college, and then I graduate, and I still go right back into the grocery stores. Can't get a job.
Okay.
Nobody hire me.
Okay.
You're not qualified, or you're overqualified.
Right.
I hear that for over 10 years.
Wow.
So imagine going in a grocery store, being a stocker, stocking on aisle 9, green beans on the shelf, but believe in God, saying, I know you didn't create me for this.
Right.
You wouldn't have gave me that.
Right.
If you wanted me to do this for the rest of my life.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it didn't add up. As the young people say, the math ain't mathing.
Right.
It don't add up.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. So I just kept applying the word of God to my life and believing God. I said, you're going to get me out of here one day. It ain't going to be like it's always. And sure enough, it wasn't. Seasons. God's time.
Right.
For I know the plan that I have for you, meaning you don't know the plan. You can make a plan.
Right.
But it ain't going to go the way you think it's going to go. He
Right.
has a plan for you. So, and I got my first graphic design job through working through the grocery stores.
Wow.
A friend of mine told another friend of his about me, who went on to build a company called Image 360. The man hired me.
That's amazing. And now he's one of the most well sought after graphic designers, photography, all the branding, all the above. What do you want your legacy to be, Jay?
You know, just to be well spoken of.
Okay.
Just to be well spoken of. Nothing can glamour it.
Right.
You
right.
know, no glitz and glamour or nothing like that.
Right.
Just if I'm gone, I leave something behind. I left gifts behind.
Okay.
You know, training
Okay.
others. You
Right.
can't take it. Well, you can take it with you. You
Yeah.
don't want to.
Right.
But to leave something behind, to nurture those that are coming up, and know when you are getting older, and that you need to nurture young people, to teach them that want to be taught, and to be well spoken of when I leave.
That's amazing, man. Where can we find you?
Man, you can find me anywhere. Social media, Facebook. It's easy to find Jonathan Snorten, JONATHAN SNORTEN. Instagram, same thing. You can find me there, right up under my name. Then you can also find me on both social medias, Instagram and Facebook. John Michael Exclusive Wardrobe. It's easy to find.
Man, y'all hear it right here. Y'all give it up for my boy Jonathan Snorten, man. Thank you for coming out here, man.
My pleasure,
Taking your
brother.
time out, man. Just pouring into these brothers to let them know it's gonna be okay.
My pleasure, man.
All right,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
All right.
To see future My Manhood Matters episodes, do me a favor, click like, share, and subscribe. Tune in for more My Manhood Matters episodes.